Major news networks' idea of what the metaverse is are wrong, and yours might be too. News being wrong isn't too far out of the ordinary, but I'll let that sink in for a bit. There's a good chance if you got your understanding of what the metaverse was from Facebook and their announcement, or the absolute litany of articles about a metaverse, your conception might be flawed too. And that's okay, because they want our ideas of what the metaverse is altered to better suit their needs. The metaverse is supposed to be for all of us, but if it's designed the way the articles and companies talk about it, it won't be. So what is the metaverse actually? Well, in a sentence, the metaverse is a term that is supposed to represent a physicalized internet. It would be a layer of information technology on top of reality and replacing reality. What does that mean? Well, think of the internet, the actual internet, the underlying mechanics which allow you to browse the websites, not the websites themselves. The internet isn't owned by any one company. It's not like Google owns the internet. The internet ultimately is a series of protocols, rules that all software follows to participate in the same shared digital space. That protocol is something you might have even heard of, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or HTTP. There are documents that list how HTTP needs to be designed, how it needs to be sent as raw data over our thousands of miles of cable, how it should be received, how it should be rendered, and so on. These documents are available to the general public, and anyone who follows the rules of these documents can create their own browsers or their own server architecture. Everyone uses Chrome or Firefox or Brave or whatever because it's not the easiest thing in the world. But while the instructions may be complicated, they're all there for reading and for using. And all of the big companies that you might think of when you think of the internet, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, these companies don't make up the internet. They're using the internet. The internet is the framework that allows these websites to exist. What's more, you yourself can make your own website with very little hassle and for totally free if you wanted. You don't need to rent a server with Amazon. You could use your own computer. You don't need a domain from GoDaddy. You could just use your IP address. Or there are even free domains out there that you could use if you really wanted, like .tk. While the stuff on the internet is a little more corporate and controlled than it used to be, ultimately, the internet itself is still for all of us. No one owns it. It's our digital playground. So what does this have to do with the metaverse, you might ask? Well, everything that's true for the internet should also be true for the metaverse. If built correctly, the metaverse isn't the thing that Facebook owns or Google. It isn't this thing that there's the Twitch metaverse or the YouTube metaverse. The metaverse would be unified and accessible to all, built upon universally agreed standards and protocols. But instead of just protocols for displaying text, it would be for displaying 3D images, for keeping track of geolocations, for displaying your avatar or the items you own to those around you. In the same way that there are protocols for setting up a website, you too could host a metaverse site, a physical space in the real world or in the virtual world that shows what you want, that does what you want. The metaverse would be our playground, not owned by tech giants, but by no one at all. If the metaverse was built correctly, we wouldn't have 25 walled gardens, but a single open field. But of course, corps don't want that. They can't own your digital identity, and by extension, own you, if all of that information is part of a decentralized platform. The only ones who lose, if we do this right, are those big companies. And it's not to say that they can't build their own spaces in the metaverse. They totally can, just like any other company or individual. But they get no special treatment. They would be on a level playing field, just like the rest of us. And obviously they don't want that. So you'll probably be seeing all sorts of articles about what the metaverse is on the Wall Street Journal or wherever. They'll try to convince you that we already have a metaverse, or that there's different metaverses, or some other bullshit to get you to buy in to their dark timeline version of the metaverse. But in the end, the metaverse is only these two things. It's open, and it's all of ours.